watching my cousins at a pace going forward, I used to feel bad because here I was down and they was up. I was trying to compare myself with them, but I could not make it, and the pressures that they built up over time. I was also on the verge to commit suicide, all because I could not understand the world around me.
Living with cerebral palsy, Sunderland Vylan Sonny was told his path would be limited. Through faith, courage, and relentless determination, he proved otherwise. Today, he is co-author alongside his mother, Vidya Jualla, of his first book, A Crooked Path Made Straight.
With time went by, facing the battles repeatedly, Mommy stuck with me. And what helped me is speaking to my mom to the best of my ability. Because anytime I was frustrated and I had a temper also, where I used to lash out, pitch on everything. I used to act like if I was going mad. And with Mom's help, she used to just have me sit down and we used to talk to the best of my ability. And with a period of time, by talking, and with loads of discussion, I started to have a breakthrough. Also, Mommy introduced me to God, speaking out the problems to the Lord. And as time went by, I decided to have a result when I decided to take my first step into trial. Every time folks encounter with me, they will assume what sickness you have. Secondly, just because they see a person with disability walking the street, the first thing nowadays what they assume is that you're drunk, you're on drugs, you're on cocaine. And I will have to let them know, hey, I'm not on those things. It's a disability that I have.
Honestly, I just block out what people used to talk about him. Because at Princess Elizabeth, the first thing they thought you, it's the ability and not the disability. That was their motto at Princess Elizabeth. And I used to keep telling them that it's the ability and not the disability. Who want to say you hang up, who want to call you names, who want to say, that is them. You don't have to take on nobody. You do what you have to do for yourself to prove people wrong. To show them the other side that you could do this and you could do this at your own pace, your own time. So I always keep with him with that. And one of his challenges is that growing up, when he reached 11, 12 years, he couldn't read. He couldn't read, he couldn't think. He had now started to write, but he used to write like, big, sometimes small, sometimes all thing. It take him years to learn to write as well, but reading was something that he couldn't understand, he couldn't do. When he reached the age of like, even before he left Princess Elizabeth, 15, 16 years, yeah, then he started to read because, I had to like label the things in the house. like TV, how to spell television, or how to do this, pick up papers. And eventually he started picking up papers to read for himself. And the minute he started to read for himself, that is when things started to change for him, because he realized that he could do.
Yes, I do. Because I used to always thought that this word is not for person like us, that we don't exist because everybody move with a fast pace. And that is one thing that threw me out, because I used to observe my family relative and going back to my cousin, the pace that they were going, I really felt bad, because I mean they was up there and I was somewhere to the bottom. Well, after finishing at Princess Elizabeth Special School, I did not want to just stay home and do anything. We were seeking for something else to keep me occupied. And when I discovered NCPE back then, I said, let's go for it. Let's see where my future holds. And when I came to NCPE, they put me in office administration, and I had no expectation. I was like, say, am I good enough to do that? Like, wow, because I'm a person, I just go with the flow.
With NCPD, okay, he realized that he never thought that he could have reached this far. Okay, because up to when he left Princess Elizabeth, it wasn't anything like he could have write exams or he could have do anything like that. He didn't even know that he could have come here and do so. When we started here, I keep telling him, I said, well, you know what, hon? You could always go into petty. If anybody say anything, you could always learn a trade. You could do a trade, whatever. We could see whatever they have, and you could go into that. When he come home now, he said, Mommy, Miss put me into office admin. Okay, just like that. Nothing out on anything. The only thing he know basically home was just the laptop to do things. And when he started here, and that's where he learned to go more into reading, writing, and everything. And as he go along, but he would take time to understand. But as he go along from here, this is where he started to really understand. But it was cut short when COVID and everything take place. School had to be closed off. And then when everything get hard now, no buses and everything, that's how we end up living here.
So at the National Center for Persons with Disabilities, we are a vocational training center. And, we are not just a vocational training center, because we look at each student who comes to our door and we look at their needs. And we develop a program that will help develop them holistically. So for example, when Sonny came to our center, we saw great potential in him. And, despite not being able to read fluently, he can articulate himself very well. So we thought that the best skill area to put Sonny in is office administration. And he was a bit skeptical at first, because he was like, Miss, I can't really read much and I can't write much, and I don't think that I can do this. And we were like, no, you can, right? And, living up to our mantra of see the ability, not the disability, we pushed him to stay in office administration. And, we pushed Sonny beyond his limits. He learned to read, he learned to write, he learned to, make friends and talk. And, now they go out and have fun and, live just like a typically functioning person. And, hearing that, Sonny left NCPD and is now flourishing, he's doing his own books And to me, that is a success.
When I first started Princess Elizabeth, at 3.5 years old, we had to travel at first. We used to reach out on mornings to get the first bus that going to Boris Bay and onto the avenue. And folks was, they was come to us and want to talk and have a conversation. And after that conversation, they were so motivated. And that is where that I wanted to write this book, because I say if I can motivate a few hundred people, let's not take it to 1,000 or 10,000 or probably 1,000,000 with my story.
When he used to be frustrated, I used to say, well, here what to do. You just put everything. You just go on your computer. You just write down how you're feeling, how you're doing this, how you're doing what it is you're doing. So by penning down things, because he couldn't write properly, but on the laptop he could do certain things because he had a knack for learning like that, rather than how I should say, let's say if you do bill blackboard work, he ain't understand that. But put it on the laptop and he will go in and he will start to do things which was easier for him. So like even to talking, he would kind of like think, or he might fumble a little, but tell him to go on the laptop, everything coming. And fast as he remember, he could go back and change what he doing. And by writing his version, because his book is into two versions. My half at the beginning, my experiences growing up with him, and then his part comes in after when he started to understand life. So it's kind of like, it looks like, if it's repeated, but it's not repeated because he remembers what he went through as a child and silent, that when he couldn't talk or fend or say anything for himself.
Yes, because putting it into words was a bit emotional in some aspects of it, because to know that we went through these true events, but it happens. It happened. And yes, a little sadness occurred, but we wanted the world to see, because people just figure that just because they have challenges, it's to give up. No, the idea is about it's not to give up. Keep going no matter what. Because if I did give up, I would not be here today.
Last year, between from September straight down into November, December, he got really sick. He had multiple seizures back to back. For a time, he come out the hospital, always going back, and we couldn't understand that why he was getting these seizures non-stop. And it took him a years, because from before he had seizures, then it stopped, and then it started back again, and eventually it got worse last year. Where he had it, I almost thought I lost him. But he did remind me, he said, Mommy, in that November month at the San Fernando accident and emergency, he said, Mommy, if I don't make it, make sure my book is published.
It's so heartwarming for me as the principal, knowing that our program at NCPD, it's working. Sometimes we may question, is this really working? Are we doing the right thing? But hearing this success story is fulfilling, and it shows me that yes, we are doing the right thing.
I feel proud as a mom. I feel really proud, and I feel like that we want to make a difference.
Our expectation is for them to come here, to pursue a skill, and then move and be blossom. And that is what is happening, for example, with Sonny. And we just love that. We love that he is seeing his ability rather than his disability, because when he came in, he used the word can't. No, that will be too hard. And now he's doing things better than me. You know, I can't sit here and write a book. So I'm very proud of him and, you know, what's the foundation that we at NCPD, you know, built for him and all our students here. So again, I am so proud of Sonny and his accomplishments and, you know, living up to our motto of seeing the ability, not the disability. This also should be used as motivation to not just students at NCPD, but the disability population to show you that you can do it. Never limit yourself. Keep persevering and you will be successful.